The Latvian Open Air Museum, Latgale, a distinct ethnographic zone in the east of Latvia. Unlike the rest of Latvia, where peasant households stood apart from one another, Latgale was distinguished by its sāģes, or clusters of individual households, which were also typical of nearby Russia and Byelorussia. Slavic influences can be discerned in Latgalian households and in their lifestyle. In spite of a lengthy and intense process of Russification, the Latgalians have preserved their Latvian mentality, which is especially evident in Latgalian folklore. Latgale is populated by Catholic Latvians and Poles, as well as Orthodox Russians and Byelorussians, who are either Russian Orthodox or Old Believers. The household of Jākabs Dervinieks. My husband was a fine carpenter. He made furniture, roofed houses, knew the smithy, too. He was a smart fellow.
Jākubs, Dervinieks Jākubs. Kara vīnā vietā bijis Polšā, kur tī ieraudzies tos dzirnumus.
Jākubs made me a mill. He'd seen mills like that in Poland during the war. When he was done fighting, he came home and went to work. To lower the taxes, he covered the mill with straw. When it was time to mill, the sail arms were covered with canvas, which I wove myself. All my clothes are hand-woven. The loom stood in the house. When I finished weaving, we took apart the loom and stored it away in a shed. The grain had to be dried in a kiln before it went to the mill. Neighbors came to us to mill malt for beer. If there wasn't any wind, the millstones could be turned by hand. In cold winters, it was difficult to warm up the living room, so I slept on top of the oven. All of us here are Catholic. There's a 100-year-old church about 3 kilometers from here. Latvians in other regions of Latvia are Lutherans. When Jākabs died and I was left alone, my neighbors came to help me with the heavy tasks. I brewed beer then. Everyone praised my beer.
Pazadzieru lobaols, pamozami malteniam, pazavieru lobu ļaužu malenia istovadam, pazavieru lobu ļaužu malenia istovadam.
This is my native land. It's a pretty place. Forests, hills, lakes.
There
aren't too many people left here. The store is far away and there's no electricity. Before the kolkhozes were founded, we did all sorts of work. Grew potatoes, flax, clover, grain. We used sickles. We only used scythes to cut grass.
Strodoja, lokta bija, viss, kas bija. Ka vajadzēja plugu paprovēja, otkonami, ka vajadzēja atšāt, ieglimtūs, dzeļžus sataisēja, izkolais, dēļ seve, visu sataisēja. Vajadzēja sausas maizes izkaltēt, askamulu sev, to ķepli, tomā kročnē kalķēju, izplācis pībieru, izsastījumu ķepli, ka jau ķeplis tā procesa, Kalķēju maisā. Bēram gotovu, kad vies papilta, tūlēk molum. Далека машині клотин, ідечу піклою, замашка підзірнову, і от тулайки лайдам машині, а насям нушків немає, і лайдам віє спивтя, і лайдам і ківлям майзі. От кай віє. Тей перц бея я 60 осу бея ока, ну статус мунус. Izlēju, vajadzēņās. Tot man grīvto, ka rodēja šīvdinstis. Smukai azars klotin, meži klotin. Ļoti labi. Плота, плота клювало, покрыть земля и грыз домой. Плота, плота клювало, покрыть земля и грыз домой. Гон богота бролю муаса и тауто сирау дойдам. Гон богота бролю муас и тауто сирау дойдам. Ваца голова jau. Varu sagodot visu dziksmu jau. Pavaicoju izboleņu, kod vēl vicīmā iet. Pavaicoju izboleņu, kod vēl vicīmā iet. Sasdini labi cīmājīti, svādini labi cīmojti. Sasdini labi cīmājīti, sasdini labi cīmojti. Pirmūdienī saules diena, brolim sīna sokaltei. Pirmūdienī saules diena, brolim sīna sokaltei. Utardienī miglas diena, maršam rūži sorevei. Utardienī miglas diena, maršam rūži sorevei. Trešdien dienā nugovata. Pēvrolīkā es stovēju raudodam, jau svādini, iz baznīcu, ar visomi moseņom, pirmūdienī, ar visomi tēlētām, pirmūdienī, ar visomi tēlētām. Utardini atsūtēju tava motei labas dienas, utardini atsūtēju tava motei labas dienas. I tā zīsmē gols jau. Papūti vējien, slauk pagalmeņu, palēji leitēni, mozgoj galdeņu. Palēji leitēni, mozgoj galdeņu, sajoja tautēnis saraibi nova, sajoja tautēnis saraibi nova, i baga moseņa dzēj poraklieti. I Бога moseņa dzēj poraklieti, atslēdza tautēts ar zubiņeņu, atslēdza tautēts ar zubiņeņu. Sok, mamen, cik godauklēji, sok, mamen, cik godauklēju. Treis godi auklēju, 100 dalderēšu. Treis godi auklēju, 100 dalderēšu. Visa.
The International Folklore Festival, Baltica 88.
Natiku gosa skolā. Namoku ni rakstāt, ni lasāt, neko namoku.
We were 9 children, 5 daughters and 4
Skolā
sons.
natiku gosa.
I never went to school. My father only sent the younger children to school. I don't know how to read or write. In those days, we were all well-dressed and well-fed. Life was good, but the work was hard. Then the Russians took over, and everything disappeared. My children grew up, my daughters married and moved to the city, but I stayed here with Yakovs. We only had one son. His name was Stanislav.
Tikai viens dēls man bija. Viens un dēls. Stanislava vārdā sauca.
Straw from this house will be very useful for Monica's brother, whose house Monica will be moving to.
Daudz ko atcerēju vecos laiku vēl. Daudzi monta paēma kaut kas.
When we had to join the kolhoz, a lot of things were taken away from us. A cow, a horse. We had a lovely horse. I still can't get over it. Our wagon, our sled. We had to hand everything over, but my husband had made everything by hand. It was a very sad thing.
Товарищи, делала на узком шона, на моза. Вот кай бея.
The mistress of the house will be moving to her father's house. She'll spend her remaining days with her brother's family. Sometimes I take a walk to Dervinieki to see how things look there. Big birches have taken the place of our mill. It was a lovely place, Dervinieki. A fine life. I'm 94 years old. I've lived a long life. I can die.
Ганей дамаи раудею, курзам залювелиен. Ганей дамаи раудею, гульзам залювелиен. Чали мамени ту гальвеню, аспатель чувелиен. Чали мамени ту гальвень, аспатель чувелиен. Выше.
Paldies, mēs gribam pie patmaņām palikt.
Long ago, in 1967, the windmill made its way to the museum. But it took a lot of convincing to get her to leave the rest of the farm's buildings to the museum. After having lived in this house for 50 years, Monica returned to her father's house, where she spent her remaining years in her brother's family. When her life was already well into its 9th decade, we recorded her songs on Pinčējas ir 28 rubļi katru mēnesi atnaz.
пінцею дідею. Пояду часу я.
Now I live in my father's house with my brother and his family. I was born and grew up here. Then Jakobs married me and took me to Dervinieki. My pension is 28 rubles. The mailman brings it to me each month. I have enough to eat. I'm well fed. The household here is big. The livestock is fine. My sons-in-law come to help. I can do some things myself, but I've lost some strength. My hearing's gotten worse. The money that the museum paid me for my mill is in the bank in my brother's daughter's account. But the bank book is here with me. When I die, there will be money for my funeral. The Dervinieki household in the Dritsane district of the Rezekne region was discovered, photographed, and filmed by Ervin Svebergs.